Imagine stumbling upon a dusty relic from 2,000 years ago. A simple clay jar that hides a secret capable of rewriting history. What if our ancestors harnessed electricity long before we thought possible? Welcome to Unexplained History, where we uncover the mysteries that defy explanation. Today, we dive into the enigma of the Baghdad Battery. This is Tom Mackenzie, and you are listening to Unexplained History. If you are enjoying this show, make sure to subscribe on all major platforms like Apple, Spotify, and Spreaker. And if you want more unexplained content, swing by our website at unexplained.co. Picture this. It's 1936, in the sun-baked ruins near Baghdad, Iraq. Archaeologists sift through the sands of time, unearthing artifacts from the Parthian era around 250 BC to 224 AD. Among the pottery shards and forgotten relics, they find something peculiar, a collection of terracotta jars, each about 5 inches tall, unassuming at first glance. But inside lies the puzzle. A copper cylinder, sealed at the bottom with asphalt, and thrust through it, an iron rod, corroded but intact. The air thickens with the scent of ancient earth, a faint tang of vinegar lingering in the residue. Why this combination? Why seal acid-like substances within? It's as if these jars were built to generate something unseen, something electric. Fast forward to modern tests. Scientists recreate these jars, filling them with acidic liquids like lemon juice or vinegar. And lo and behold, a spark. Electricity flows, weak but undeniable, about half a volt per jar. Stack them, and you have a battery capable of electroplating metals or even powering small devices. But here's the twist that sends chills down your spine. No wires, no instructions etched in stone, no ancient texts boasting of this power. The jars sit silent in museums, their purpose shrouded in mystery. Were they mere storage vessels, as some skeptics claim? Or did the ancients know about electricity, harnessing it for rituals, medicine, or something far more advanced? Imagine the dim torchlight of a Parthian workshop, the hum of hidden energy, the shock of discovery in a world lit only by fire. The implications race through your mind like a storm. If true, this upends everything. Electricity, credited to Volta in the 18th century, suddenly ancient. Whispers of electrotherapy for pain, or gilding sacred idols with gold via electric currents. Yet, doubts linger. The acid residue could be from wine or fruit, the setup coincidental. No definitive proof, no smoking gun, just these enigmatic jars taunting us from the past. Feel the suspense building, the unanswered questions pulling you deeper. How did they discover this? Why hide it? Or was it lost knowledge, buried under empires? The Baghdad Battery isn't just an artifact, it's a door to forbidden history, creaking open with electric promise. What could this mean for our understanding of ancient ingenuity? The mystery of the Baghdad Battery leaves us electrified with questions. Coming up, we will travel back to the specific era to set the scene and explore the world that birthed this enigma. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Unexplained History. Before we uncover the mystery of those ancient artifacts found near Baghdad, let's step back in time. Imagine a world of empires clashing, trade routes bustling, and secrets buried in the sand. Our narrator will transport you to the Parthian era, where the seeds of this enigma might have been planted. Close your eyes and let the winds of history carry you back. It's the height of the Parthian Empire, sometime between 250 BCE and 224 CE. The sun beats down on the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, near the ancient village of Kujut Rabu, not far from what we now call Baghdad. The air is thick with the scent of date palms and blooming oleanders, mixed with the earthy aroma of the Tigris River's muddy banks. Here, the world is a tapestry of power and mystery. The Parthians, those fierce horsemen from the east, have wrested control from the crumbling Seleucid Greeks. Their empire stretches from the Euphrates to the Indus, a vast domain where Persian traditions blend with Hellenistic influences. Kings like Arsaces and Mithridates rule from grand palaces in Ctesiphon, their thrones adorned with gold and lapis lazuli. But life here isn't just for kings. It's a whirlwind of trade and innovation. Picture the bustling caravans snaking along the Silk Road, camels laden with silk from distant China, spices from India, and incense from Arabia. Merchants haggle in Aramaic, Greek, and Persian, their voices rising above the clatter of hooves and the creak of wooden carts. In the markets of Kujut Rabu, you can smell the sharp tang of frankincense burning in brass censers, hear the ring of blacksmiths hammering iron tools, perhaps even early experiments with metals that conduct strange energies. Technology thrives in subtle ways. Aqueducts channel water to irrigate fields of wheat and barley, while artisans craft intricate pottery, glazed with vibrant blues and greens. And whispers of alchemy float through the air, wise men mixing potions, seeking to harness the forces of nature, maybe even capturing lightning in jars. Religion weaves through every aspect of life. Zoroastrian fire temples dot the landscape, their eternal flames flickering against the night sky, symbols of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. In this era, the line between magic and science blurs. Craftsmen experiment with batteries of clay and copper, devices that could spark light in the darkness, powering rituals or healing arts. The desert winds whisper of lost knowledge, buried artifacts waiting for future eyes. Feel the heat of the sun on your skin, the dust in your throat, the thrill of an ancient world alive with possibility. This is the cradle where mysteries were born, in the shadow of empires, on the banks of timeless rivers. As the Parthian sun sets, it gives way to the Sasanian dawn in 224 CE. But the echoes of this time linger, hidden in the sands near Kujut Rabu. What a vivid journey back to the ancient world. We've set the stage in the Parthian era, a time of trade, innovation, and hidden wonders. But now, let's move forward to the first major event in this timeline, the discovery that sparked it all. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the mystery. Welcome back, listeners. In the dusty outskirts of Baghdad, under the relentless sun of 1936, a discovery was about to challenge everything we know about ancient technology. Picture the scene. Archaeologists sifting through the sands of time, unaware that they're on the verge of unearthing something extraordinary. Let's dive into the moment the incident began. The year is 1936. The sun hangs high over the ancient site of Kujut Rabu, just outside Baghdad, casting long shadows across the parched earth. Dust swirls in the hot wind, carrying the faint scent of dry clay and distant date palms. Wilhelm König, the Austrian archaeologist leading the dig, wipes sweat from his brow. His team, a mix of local workers and fellow scholars, moves methodically through the excavation pits. Shovels scrape against the soil, picks chip away at hardened layers, each sound echoing the slow pulse of discovery. König had come here chasing remnants of the Parthian era, those mysterious rulers who bridged the gap between ancient Persia and the rise of Islam. But today, something feels different. The air is thick with anticipation, as if the ground itself is holding its breath. It's mid-morning when the first breakthrough happens. A worker calls out in Arabic, his voice cutting through the murmurs of the team. König rushes over, his boots crunching on the loose gravel. There, in a shallow trench about 3 feet deep, lies a cluster of artifacts emerging from the earth. Carefully, they brush away the dirt with soft bristled tools, revealing the outlines of clay jars. Not just any jars. These are peculiar, about 6 inches tall, with narrow necks sealed by asphalt plugs. König's heart races as he kneels down, the sun beating on his back like a forge. He can feel the roughness of the terracotta under his fingers, smell the earthy tang of millennia-old pottery. Careful, he whispers, more to himself than the team. One by one, they lift the jars from their sandy cradle, each movement deliberate to avoid shattering these fragile relics. As the day wears on, the true oddity begins to reveal itself. Inside one of the jars, something glints. A copper cylinder, corroded but intact, fitted snugly within the clay walls. König peers closer, his breath catching. Protruding from the top is an iron rod, suspended by the asphalt seal, not quite touching the bottom. It's unusual. Not a storage vessel for grains or oils, as one might expect. No, this looks engineered, purposeful. The team gathers around, murmuring in hushed tones. The wind picks up, whipping sand across the site, as if nature itself is whispering secrets. König's mind races. Could this be a ritual object? A forgotten tool? The atmosphere thickens with tension. The workers exchange glances, sensing something profound. Little do they know, these jars, later dubbed the Baghdad Batteries, hold the potential to rewrite history. By late afternoon, more jars are uncovered, each similar in design. The excavation site buzzes with quiet excitement, the air heavy with the scent of unearthed antiquity. König documents everything meticulously, sketches in his notebook, notes on the precise location and condition. His hands tremble slightly as he handles one, feeling the weight of centuries. The iron rods show signs of corrosion, as if they once held some acidic substance. Questions swirl like the dust devils on the horizon. What powered these? Why were they buried here? The sun dips lower, painting the sky in hues of orange and red, casting an otherworldly glow over the dig. As the team packs up for the day, König lingers, staring at the artifacts. This is no ordinary find. This is the spark of a mystery that will ignite debates for decades. What Wilhelm König and his team unearthed that day was more than just ancient pottery. It was a puzzle that defies our understanding of history. But the story doesn't end there. Join us next as we explore the escalation of this enigmatic event and what these strange jars might truly mean. Stay tuned. Welcome back, listeners. We've just uncovered the initial incident, that dusty artifact emerging from the sands near Baghdad. But what happened next? It spiraled, fast, into a whirlwind of mystery that shook the foundations of what we thought we knew about ancient technology. Let's dive into the high strangeness that followed. The air in the museum's storeroom felt thick with dust and secrets. It was 1936, and Wilhelm König, the director of the Iraq Museum, held the peculiar clay jar in his hands. Inside, a copper cylinder, an iron rod, remnants of something that didn't belong in the annals of Parthian history. But as he examined it closer, a spark ignited. Not literal, but intellectual. By 1938, König published his hypothesis. This was no mere vessel, it was a galvanic cell. An ancient battery, capable of generating electricity 2,000 years before Volta's pile. The idea hit like a thunderclap in the academic world. Whispers turned to debates, heated and chaotic, echoing through lecture halls and journals. How could the ancients harness electricity? For what purpose? The questions piled up, unanswered, fueling a firestorm of intrigue. Decades passed, but the enigma refused to fade. In the 1970s, the storm intensified. Scientists, driven by curiosity and skepticism, rolled up their sleeves. They reconstructed the jars, filling them with electrolytes like vinegar or lemon juice, mimicking what the ancients might have used. And then, voltage. Small, but undeniable. Half a volt, sometimes more when connected in series. Electroplating experiments followed, thin layers of gold or silver deposited onto metals, just as the battery could enable. The atmosphere crackled with tension, labs buzzing with frantic energy, researchers arguing over dim readings on voltmeters. Was this proof? Or mere coincidence? Public fascination exploded. Newspapers splashed headlines of ancient electricity. Skeptics scoffed, dismissing it as pseudoscience, while fringe theorists spun wild tales. Alien tech, lost civilizations powering forgotten machines. The jars became legends, their inexplicable power propelling the story into shadowy realms of speculation. Imagine the chaos, conflicting interpretations clashing like storm clouds. One camp saw ritual objects, mundane vases for scrolls or incense. Another envisioned electrotherapy devices, healing the sick with jolts of current. The controversy grew tense, almost feverish. Archaeologists pacing dusty digs, historians poring over faded texts, all chasing shadows. Sensory details painted the scene. The metallic tang of copper in the air, the faint hum of experimental setups, the frustrated sighs amid failed replications. Emotions ran high, excitement bubbling into obsession, doubt curdling into outright denial. Fringe theories mushroomed, time travelers planting tech, or Atlantean survivors sharing secrets. The Baghdad Battery challenged everything, conventional wisdom crumbling under the weight of possibility. It wasn't just an artifact, it was a portal to the unknown, drawing in dreamers and debunkers alike in a chaotic dance of wonder and disbelief. Yet, amid the turmoil, one truth emerged. The mystery endured. No definitive answer quenched the thirst for knowledge. The jar's electricity, real or imagined, propelled them into myth, a beacon for those questioning history's narrative. The high strangeness wrapped around it like a fog, thick and unyielding, leaving us to ponder in the dim light of speculation. What secrets did the ancients truly hold? The debate rages on, chaotic and unrelenting. What a whirlwind of controversy and discovery. The Baghdad Battery didn't just challenge history, it electrified it. But who were the minds behind these theories? Stay with us as we meet the key figures involved in unraveling this ancient puzzle. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back, listeners. We've just explored the escalation of events surrounding the mysterious Baghdad Battery. But behind every enigma, there are people, flesh and blood figures whose curiosities and convictions shape the story. Today, we delve into the lives of those key players who turned ancient pottery into a debate that still sparks today. Who were they? What drove them? Let's meet the minds behind the mystery. Picture a dusty museum in Baghdad, the air thick with the scent of aged artifacts and forgotten empires. It's 1938, and Wilhelm König, an Austrian archaeologist with a keen eye for the unusual, stands before a peculiar find. König wasn't just any digger of dirt. Born in 1890, he had trained as an architect before the call of ancient worlds pulled him into archaeology. His life was a tapestry of war and wonder. Having served in World War I, he later became the director of the Iraq Museum. But it was this strange assembly, a clay jar, an iron rod, and a copper cylinder that ignited his imagination. What if, he pondered, this was no mere relic, but an ancient battery? Driven by a passion for Parthian history, König hypothesized that these devices generated electricity for electroplating metals, a theory that challenged everything we knew about ancient technology. His reputation as a meticulous scholar lent weight to the idea, but skeptics whispered doubts. Still, König's motivation seemed pure, a quest to bridge the gap between past and present, to show that our ancestors were far more ingenious than we credited. His work planted the seed, influencing generations of researchers who saw in the Baghdad Battery a glimpse of lost knowledge. Fast forward to the 1970s, where the torch passes to Arne Eggebrecht, a German Egyptologist with a flair for experimentation. Eggebrecht, born in 1935, had built his career unraveling the secrets of ancient craftsmanship, particularly in metallurgy. But the Baghdad Battery called to him like a siren song. What drove this man? A relentless curiosity, perhaps fueled by his own brushes with history's shadows. Growing up in post-war Germany, he knew the value of reconstructing the past. Eggebrecht didn't just theorize, he built replicas, filling jars with acidic liquids like vinegar or lemon juice. He achieved something remarkable, a weak electrical current strong enough for electroplating gold onto silver. Imagine the dim lab, the faint hum of current, the gleam of metal transforming under his hands. His experiments bolstered Koenig's hypothesis, suggesting Parthians used these for gilding religious artifacts. Egebrecht's reputation soared in alternative history circles, but mainstream archaeologists questioned his methods. Was the voltage truly sufficient? Yet, his drive to humanize ancient inventors, to prove they harnessed forces we deem modern, kept the debate alive. Through him, the battery became not just an object, but a symbol of innovative spirit across millennia. Then there's Kaiser, a shadowy figure in this tale, known primarily by surname, whose ideas added a layer of intrigue. In the mid-20th century, Kaiser proposed a radically different use, medical or electrotherapeutic. Picture a healer in ancient Parthia, holding the device to a patient's skin, a faint tingle promising relief from pain. What motivated Kaiser? Likely a blend of medical history and archaeological insight. He saw parallels with early electrotherapy, like the electric fish used by Romans for headaches. His hypothesis humanized the artifact further, turning it from a tool of artisans to one of compassion, perhaps easing the sufferings of the ill in a world without modern medicine. Though less documented, Kaiser's reputation as a thinker outside the box influenced fringe theories, sparking discussions on ancient bioelectricity. His work reminded us that motivations in science often stem from empathy, a desire to connect human experiences across time. But not all players sought to electrify the past. Some aimed to ground it in reality. Enter Gerhard Egert, a chemist and historian whose research on historical silversmithing provided crucial context. Born in the late 20th century, Egert's life was steeped in the alchemy of metals, analyzing how ancients worked silver without modern tools. His drive, a passion for authenticity, debunking myths while honoring true ingenuity. Egert examined artifacts linked to the battery, concluding that electroplating wasn't necessary. Traditional methods like mercury gilding sufficed. Imagine his lab filled with the acrid smell of chemicals as he replicated ancient techniques, proving that the Parthians didn't need electricity for their crafts. This tempered the excitement, influencing the debate by emphasizing practical history over sensationalism. Egert's reputation as a rigorous scientist balanced the scales, reminding us that while dreams of ancient batteries captivate, the truth often lies in simpler, yet profound, human innovations. These figures, Koenig, Egebrecht, Kaiser, and Egert, wove a narrative rich with ambition, skepticism, and wonder, each driven by their unique visions of the past. Welcome back to Unexplained History. We've just explored the key figures behind the Baghdad Battery mystery. Now, let's turn to the official reports and investigations that followed its discovery. What did the experts say when this ancient artifact was thrust into the spotlight? It's time to examine the procedural side of things. The dry, methodical scrutiny that aimed to uncover the truth. In the arid archives of Baghdad's National Museum, the story of the so-called Baghdad Battery began its formal dissection. Discovered in 1936 during excavations at Kujut Rabu, just outside Baghdad, The artifacts, a collection of terracotta jars, copper cylinders, and iron rods, were initially catalogued without fanfare. Wilhelm König, the museum's director at the time, published the first notable analysis in 1938. His report, dry and precise, described the items as potential galvanic cells, capable of generating electricity. He compared them to modern batteries, noting the asphalt seals and the acidic residues that might have served as electrolytes. König's paper appeared in the Austrian journal Forschungen und Fortschritte, sparking quiet interest among archaeologists. Imagine the dim-lit museum halls, dust motes floating in the air, as scholars leaned over these relics, their notepads filled with sketches and measurements. The atmosphere was one of meticulous observation, far removed from sensational claims. Post-World War II, the investigation gained momentum. In 1940, American engineer Willard F. M. Gray replicated the device at the General Electric High Voltage Laboratory. His report, published in technical journals, confirmed that a replica could produce a small voltage, about 0.5 volts, when filled with grape juice or vinegar as an electrolyte. The process was straightforward. Fill the jar, insert the rod, measure the output. Yet Gray's findings were cautious, emphasizing that this did not prove ancient electrical knowledge. The scholarly community reacted with measured skepticism. Archaeologists like those from the University of Pennsylvania compared the artifacts to similar Parthian-era finds, cataloging features such as the 13-centimeter height of the jars and the corrosion patterns on the metals. Reports highlighted parallels with storage vessels from Seleucia, suggesting mundane uses like holding scrolls or liquids. The air in these academic circles was thick with debate, voices echoing in lecture halls, papers rustling as experts pored over grainy photographs and metallurgical analyses. By the 1970s, German Egyptologist Arne Eggebrecht took the scrutiny further. In a series of experiments documented in scientific publications, he built replicas and tested them for electroplating. His reports detailed how a chain of 10 such batteries could generate enough current to gold-plate small objects, mirroring techniques possibly used in ancient Mesopotamia. Eggebrecht's work appeared in journals like Chemie in unserer Zeit, with procedural descriptions of voltage measurements and chemical compositions. However, reactions were mixed. Some scholars dismissed it as speculative, pointing to the lack of direct evidence for electroplating in Parthian artifacts. The Baghdad Museum's own catalog, updated in the 1980s, classified the items as ritualistic or medical tools, based on comparative studies with Iranian relics. Sensory details emerge in these reports: the faint metallic tang of oxidized iron, the earthy scent of aged clay, evoking a sense of timeless mystery amid the clinical analysis. Publications like the Journal of Near Eastern Studies featured debates, with authors arguing over carbon dating, placing the artifacts between 250 BCE and 224 CE, and disputing the battery theory's feasibility without broader technological context. Fascinating stuff, isn't it? The official investigations leave us with more questions than answers, setting the stage perfectly for what comes next. Up ahead, we dive into the skeptical theories that challenge the battery hypothesis. Could these artifacts be something far more ordinary? Stay tuned to Unexplained History as we separate fact from fiction. Welcome back, listeners. We've just delved into the intriguing details of the Baghdad Battery's discovery and initial investigations. But now, it's time to apply a rational lens. What if this ancient artifact isn't the groundbreaking electrical device we've been led to believe? Let's turn to the skeptics for a sharp, analytical breakdown. Over to our narrator for the rational eye. Imagine standing in the dusty halls of an archaeological museum, surrounded by relics from a bygone era. The air is thick with the scent of aged clay and forgotten secrets. Among these artifacts sits the so-called Baghdad Battery, a humble terracotta jar about the size of a human fist, containing an iron rod encased in a copper cylinder sealed with asphalt. To some, it's proof of ancient electricity. But let's dissect this claim with the precision of a scalpel. Skeptics argue that these jars are nothing more than mundane vessels, perhaps used for storing sacred scrolls or ritual oils. Picture them in a dimly lit temple, holding papyrus documents protected from the elements, or filled with precious balms for religious ceremonies. The battery theory? It's enticing, but it crumbles under scrutiny. First, consider the archaeological evidence, or rather, the glaring lack of it. No wires, no conductive materials, no remnants of electrolytes beyond traces of what could be vinegar or wine residues. If these were batteries, where are the circuits, the instructions, the applications? It's as if we're forcing a modern interpretation onto an object that simply doesn't fit. The jars were found in a Parthian village near Baghdad, dating back to around 250 BC to 224 AD. Yet no contemporary texts mention electricity or anything resembling it. Diving deeper into the science, let's unpack the electrochemical principles at play. A galvanic cell, the basis of a simple battery, requires two dissimilar metals separated by an electrolyte to produce voltage through oxidation-reduction reactions. Here, the iron rod and copper cylinder could theoretically act as electrodes, with an acidic substance like vinegar serving as the electrolyte. Experiments have shown these replicas can generate a feeble 0.5 to 1 volt, barely enough to tingle your tongue, let alone power ancient wonders. But here's the rub. This battery-like behavior might be entirely coincidental. The iron and copper could have been chosen for their availability and durability, not for any electrical properties. Asphalt seals, common for waterproofing in antiquity. Acidic residues, likely from fermented fruits or wine stored inside, not intentional electrolytes. Feel the weight of Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is often correct. Why invent an anachronistic technology when ritual storage fits the cultural context perfectly? Archaeologists emphasize context. These jars were found alongside items like incense burners and magical talismans, pointing to religious or mystical uses, not scientific ones. No evidence of electroplating, lighting, or medical applications exists in the record. Written records from the era describe cosmology, medicine, and warfare, but nothing about harnessing electricity. It's a void that screams misinterpretation. That was a compelling, rational take on the Baghdad Battery, challenging us to question the hype. But what if there's more to it? Something beyond the veil of science. Stay tuned as we explore the paranormal theories next. You won't want to miss it. We've heard the skeptic's side, the logical explanations that ground these ancient jars in the mundane. But what if there's more? What if the Baghdad Battery's whisper of forgotten powers, hidden knowledge lurking in the shadows of history? Let's step into the unknown and explore the fringe theories that make our skin crawl with possibility. Imagine the dim flicker of oil lamps in a Parthian workshop centuries before Christ. Dust motes dance in the air, thick with the scent of vinegar and copper. An ancient technician, eyes gleaming with forbidden wisdom, assembles a clay jar, not for storage, but for harnessing the divine spark. These weren't mere relics, they were galvanic cells, batteries pulsing with electricity in a world lit only by fire. Fringe theorists argue this with fervor. The jars, filled with acidic liquids like vinegar or lemon juice, held iron rods wrapped in copper cylinders. Connect them, and voltage surges, enough to electroplate gold onto silver idols, making them shine with an otherworldly gleam. But why stop there? Picture healers in ancient Mesopotamia, their hands steady as they apply these devices to ailing bodies. A jolt of current, sharp and tingling, courses through flesh, stimulating muscles, easing pains that no herb could touch. Was this the origin of electrotherapy, lost to time? Or delve deeper into the eerie, ritual chambers where priests invoked divine electricity? Sparks leaping from jars to awe the faithful, mimicking thunder gods like Zeus or Indra. The air crackles, charged with ozone's metallic tang, as initiates feel the god's touch. A shiver down the spine, a vision in the dark. These weren't accidents. They were intentional, part of a suppressed knowledge passed from Egypt's pyramids or Atlantis's ruins. The psychological impact haunts us. Envision civilizations wielding electricity millennia before Edison, lighting temples with ethereal glows, powering machines we can only dream of. Yet this wisdom vanished. Or was it hidden? Conspiracy whispers suggest ancient societies guarded these secrets, or perhaps extraterrestrial visitors bestowed them, only to erase the trails. The jar's discovery in 1936 feels too coincidental, buried amid ruins as if waiting for us to question everything. Feel the chill. What if our history is a lie? Electricity not invented, but rediscovered. The unknown beckons, eerie and vast, urging us to wonder. What other powers did they command in the shadows? Modern experiments fuel the fire. Replicas produce half a volt, weak, but chain them like ancient arrays, and power builds. Enough for gilding, healing, or rituals that blurred science and magic. Skeptics scoff, but the eerie possibility lingers. Lost texts in Alexandria's burned library, suppressed by empires fearing the masses' enlightenment. Imagine the terror and awe, a spark in the dark, proof that ancients touched the stars. It reshapes our psyche, making the past alive with electric mystery, forever altering how we view the march of progress. These speculative theories leave us teetering on the edge of wonder and doubt. Whether ancient electricity or mere coincidence, the Baghdad Batteries continue to spark imagination. Up next, we explore their cultural legacy, how they've influenced art, media, and our endless quest for hidden truths. As we step back from the swirling theories surrounding the Baghdad Battery, it's time to reflect on its enduring legacy. What does this ancient enigma mean to us today? How has it shaped our view of history and, perhaps, our future? Join us as we explore the aftermath. Imagine a dusty museum shelf where a simple clay jar sits quietly, its secrets whispering through the ages. The Baghdad Battery, discovered in the 1930s, has transcended its origins to become a symbol of mystery in the modern world. Today, it lingers in the collective imagination, a relic that blurs the line between ancient ingenuity and forgotten wonders. In pop culture, it's more than an artifact. It's a star. You've seen it on television shows like Ancient Aliens, where wide-eyed hosts speculate about extraterrestrial influences. Picture the dramatic reenactments, flickering lights in dimly lit tombs, as theorists claim the Parthians harnessed electricity centuries before Edison. It's captivating, isn't it? That sense of awe, the chill down your spine as you wonder if our ancestors were far more advanced than we give them credit for. Conspiracy theories swirl around it like desert sands. Some enthusiasts insist it's proof of lost technologies, perhaps even time-traveling knowledge from future civilizations, or visitors from the stars. Online forums buzz with debates. Was it a battery for electroplating gold onto silver? Or something more arcane, like a medical device to shock away ailments? The air thickens with intrigue, the scent of old books and heated arguments filling virtual spaces where skeptics and believers clash. Since the 1970s, experimental interest has only grown. Scientists and hobbyists alike have built replicas, filling them with acidic electrolytes like vinegar or lemon juice. Feel the tingle of excitement as they measure the voltage, 0.5 to 2 volts, enough to light a small bulb or plate metal. It's tangible, this connection to the past, a spark that bridges millennia. Yet, the debate rages on among scholars, enthusiasts, and paranormal investigators. In hushed academic halls, historians argue it's merely a storage vessel for scrolls, the iron rod and copper cylinder nothing more than corrosion-riddled remnants. But outside those walls, in the shadowy realms of the unexplained, it's a beacon for those who see myth and science intertwined. The jars symbolize the allure of lost ancient technology, the what-ifs that keep us up at night. Imagine the frustration of archaeologists poring over fragments, their minds racing with possibilities, or the thrill of a ghost hunter probing for electromagnetic anomalies around similar artifacts. This boundary between fact and fantasy fuels our fascination, challenging how we interpret ancient history. Its ongoing influence is profound. In classrooms, it sparks discussions on innovation, reminding students that history isn't always linear. In literature and films, it inspires tales of hidden knowledge, where heroes uncover batteries powering ancient machines. There's a reflective melancholy here, a longing for the truths buried in time's sands. The Baghdad Battery isn't just an object, it's a mirror, reflecting our own curiosities and doubts. As we ponder its legacy, we feel the weight of unanswered questions, the echo of ancient hands crafting something extraordinary. It invites us to question everything, to blend skepticism with wonder in our quest for understanding. the Baghdad Battery's legacy continues to inspire and perplex. But as we wrap up this reflection, it's time to draw our final thoughts together. Stay with us for the conclusion, where we'll tie up the loose ends of this ancient mystery. As we draw this episode to a close, let's linger for a moment on the enigma of the Baghdad Battery. What secrets does it truly hold? Was it a spark of ancient ingenuity or merely a forgotten relic? Join me in these final thoughts where skepticism meets wonder. In the dim glow of a museum case, the Baghdad Battery sits silently. A humble clay jar, its iron rod and copper cylinder whispering tales from millennia past. We've journeyed through the sands of Iraq, unearthing artifacts that challenge our understanding of history. But as the dust settles, questions linger like shadows in the twilight. Was this device truly capable of harnessing electricity, illuminating the dark corners of ancient rituals, or powering forgotten technologies? Skeptics point to electroplating, or perhaps a simple vessel for scrolls, dismissing the notion of lost knowledge with the cold precision of science. Yet the human spirit yearns for more. For the thrill of imagining our forebears as masters of mysteries we've only begun to rediscover. Picture the ancient Parthians, huddled in dimly lit workshops, their hands stained with verdigris and asphalt, experimenting with forces they could not name. Feel the faint tingle of electricity, a spark dancing in the air, heavy with the scent of vinegar and metal. What knowledge was lost when empires crumbled, when libraries burned and scrolls turned to ash? Could they have lit lamps without flame, or healed ailments with currents we now call therapy? The tension pulls at us. Science demands evidence, hard and unyielding, yet imagination whispers of possibilities buried in the gaps of history. Vast chasms where wonders may hide. We stand on the precipice, gazing back through time, haunted by the thought that our modern world might be but a pale echo of ancient brilliance. And so, we ponder, what if the Baghdad Battery is a key to unlock doors? Doors leading to civilizations that harnessed lightning before we dreamed of circuits? Or is it a mirror, reflecting our own desires to find magic in the mundane? The air grows thick with uncertainty, like a fog rolling over forgotten ruins, stirring emotions of awe and frustration. We feel the weight of time's erosion, the sorrow of lost wisdom, and the quiet excitement of what if. These lingering questions invite us to question not just the artifact, but ourselves, to embrace the mystery beyond the evidence, to let our minds wander through the uncharted territories of the past. In this philosophical haze, we find not answers, but the profound beauty of the unknown. That concludes our investigation into this mystery. I'm Tom Mackenzie. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. And remember to visit unexplained.co for the photos we discussed today. Until next time, keep looking for the truth.